Well, here's a video that is unlike all the rest, as the title says. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago where I was actually bitten by a tick, and it took me out. I woke up in the night with my legs swollen, a bullseye rash, all the classic Lyme's disease symptoms. And I'm super grateful I was able to get right in to be seen by my primary care physician. He got me on the meds, and after a couple days I was back to fighting shape. But this is a video I shot at the end of that week after enough of a recovery. I just needed to get out into nature, into quiet. And so this is just a peaceful afternoon recovering. I was super grateful that Aaron made it possible for me to just get away, unplug, be by some water, be out in nature, and recover. One of the things I had to be very conscious of is the medicine that I'm on actually makes my skin very susceptible to sunburns, so I had to be careful with that. So, of course, to get started, I just stayed inside and made an awesome lunch. One of my favorite things about our mini schoolie is cooking in this kitchen. It's relaxing, it's fun. It is actually getting to execute the thing that I built and created in the way that I hoped to build and create it. So it's just very rewarding on so many levels. Decided to go for the good old faithful buffalo chicken sub, and it did not disappoint. Not a bad lunch. And not a bad lunch location. Hard to beat that view. And then after lunch, I decided to go a little bit of exploring. This is Lake Pleasant outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. Just decided to see where I might want to enter the water. Follow the narrow path. Not seeing any path. Seems like the perfect place to hang a hammock. The question is, do I want to hang a hammock or do I want to catch a fish? Because I can't do both. Maybe we'll try fishing first. Alright, well, true to form, I'm terrible at fishing. I have caught a few fish this season, but none that have made it onto the channel. Lake Pleasant is actually the location that I have had the little bit of success that I have had. So I thought this would be a good place to return to, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. All of the gear that we use fishing, we actually inherited from Aaron's father, who also was a tortured fisherman that did not have a lot of success. So maybe that has something to do with it. Just trying to dig up a worm here. See if we can catch a fish with a free worm. But they're called night crawlers for a reason. And it's 1 in the afternoon. So this might be a tall order. I also saw, down here by the water would be better, I saw a ton of these little minnows. I thought, man, if I could catch one of those, that's some bait. Look at all those little guys. I don't know if you can see those, but they're in there. Maybe we'll try to catch one of those. Let's try for a worm a little bit more. See what we can come up with here. On somebody's fishing line. Come on, Mr. Worm. No dice. Alright, let's see what we can do with one of these speedy little minnows. They're so fast. Catching one of these will be harder than catching a fish without one. Oh, almost had one there. These little ripples aren't going to help me. Where'd he go? There he is. Get him? I feel like if I could just trick him to shore here. There's one. Did I get him? There he is. A bunch of them. Try my other plan. This actually isn't my other plan, but I'll try it real quick just for fun. Man, these little waves really bumming me out. I think I got one. Yep, got one. Let's see if he wants to be fish food. That'll go on a hook. Let's see what we can do. All right, Mr. Minnow, thank you for coming to my party. I'm sorry this is how it's going to end for you, but for being honest, this is probably how it was going to end for you anyways. A bigger fish finding you swimming and eating you. I don't know if that's focusing, but let's have some fun. Well, this was unfortunately very short-lived. I did one cast out into the water, brought it back in, and the minnow was off the end of the hook. So I don't know if he had enough life left in him to swim his way off or wiggle his way off, or if a fish got him without having to bite the hook. I don't know what happened, but the fishing failures continued. But it's hard to complain when this is your view. I was grateful that we were late into the summer season. I had a pretty solid tan going on already, so my skin was okay given the situation with the medicine that I was on and being susceptible to sunburns. So I gave it a good effort. I cast a bunch of times. I tried. I even threw a second lure on the end of this line. And when that didn't work out, I decided to just call it on fishing and do something else. You can go ahead and leave it in the comments what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure I'm casting wrong. I'm sure I'm reeling it in too fast. I'm sure I'm doing just about everything wrong, but I'm trying and I'm enjoying being outside. But after enough of that, it was time to do something I'm actually good at, which is making coffee in my camper and putting a hammock in between a couple of trees and relaxing. So we shifted into that mode for the second half of this afternoon. As you can tell, this lake is right against the road, so not quite as peaceful as it could be at times, but for the most part, there's very limited traffic out at Lake Pleasant. Shout out to one of my favorite channels, Trout and Coffee, for the awesome mug. And I guess in closing, I would just say it's important to find rest. It's important to recuperate. It's especially important when you encounter something that is hard on your body, which the whole experience with the tick was honestly awful. Classic Lyme symptoms, like I said, a pretty rough 48 to 72 hours, but super grateful for a quick recovery and for being back on track after just a couple of days of taking it easy. And grateful for the chance to just get outside, be alone, recuperate. Thank you to my awesome wife for making that happen for me. And hanging in the shade, in a hammock, drinking a good cup of coffee. Not much better. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. So eventually, it's time to get back to reality. Pulled the bus out and headed towards home, feeling recharged, refreshed, and grateful. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for following along. And stay tuned for some super fun adventures coming your way from the great state of Virginia to wrap up the month of August. Super excited about a trip we have planned. Thanks for watching.